pre-trip video, vehicle 854. I'm going to show you the basic components and some maintenance on the Isuzu cab over box truck. Start with the basic components, just opening the door. Make sure the door opens and closes. Important with the Isuzu cab over, you want to make sure that everything is clear inside the truck. This cab will be tilted up at about 45 degrees. If there's anything inside that's loose or hanging, including your triangles or your fire extinguisher, it's going to bang off the front windshield and possibly break the windshield. So you have to make sure that everything is clear and secure inside the cab of your truck before you start this process inside the truck. There's a reference guide on the back here if you get lost or confused on any parts of what we're doing here. You're going to start by engaging the safety latch inside and pulling up on the large lever. There's another safety latch. Pull up. See all the weight fall forward. You're going to want to shut the door to make it easier to navigate and get around. Let's start taking a look at some of these basic components inside. Let's look at our battery first. You can see our battery underneath. It's got two batteries. You want to make sure nothing is disconnected. You want to make sure that there's no corrosion or anything loose. Anything looks funny inside the battery here. Everything looks good. Taking a look at the inside, we're going to check the engine oil. Most important thing we'll look in here. You're going to pull it out completely, take the excess oil out of off the dipstick, reinsert it to the engine all the way. So you insert all the way. You're going to pull it out and check the dots on the end of the dipstick. This guy looks like it's okay. If you would need to add engine oil, it would be at the top. You'd remove the cap from the top, add the engine oil. Dump it in there, and then you want to check your dipstick again to make sure that you have the correct levels after you filled with oil. We can check our belts while we're in the front here. This guy, we can see two belts. We've got one big one, one little one. You want to check and make sure there's no fraying. Everything's intact on your belt. You can always look and check and make sure there's no oil puddling or panning anywhere over the engine. Everything seems to be good here. Your transmission dipstick is right here. Now you've noticed we have this vehicle cold when we're starting and checking all of our fluids. The transmission fluid must be checked while the truck is warm. So when you're hot, you can check your transmission fluid. Everything else, like we're showing you in this video, is going to be done while the engine is cold and not running. Let's take a walk to the other side and check out the other fluid levels. First thing we come across is the engine coolant. You can see that with the cap here, and then the fill minimum and maximum lines. This here is our power steering fluid. You've got a minimum and a maximum fill line on the side. You've got a cap you can add if you need to. Checking over the engine again, just making sure nothing looks funny. No oil puddling or pooling anywhere underneath or on top of the engine. Everything appears to be good here. To check the washer fluid, on this side you'll see that reservoir is on top. And then over here you've got your fill or your indicator line. Make sure that you have washer fluid in your truck. Close the door, we'll walk around the other side and show you how to close the cab. Give you a good view of this guy again at a 45-degree angle and up. Now that we've got him up, let's put him back down. Come to this side, you're going to see this is where all the weight is released. Once you push that in, the weight of the cab is released down. Slowly pull that guy down there. You'll pull that bar all the way down until you hear it lock in and engage. You can pull up on it to make sure it's not moving, as well as the cab to make sure it's not moving. Very good. Let's go ahead inside the cab. We'll check out our seatbelt, make sure we're safe. You can see our mirrors are good. There's no cracks or anything missing. Heard the click of our seatbelt, so we know our seatbelt works. Let's check out the windshield. You can see the windshield. There's no cracks, no chips. Everything looks good here. You can see our inspection or our registration sticker. Let's try our windshield wipers. Wipers are good. We've also got fluid coming out. If you do not have fluid coming out of your windshield wipers, that is a DOT violation. Make sure you've got washer fluid and it comes out of the wipers. Let's check out our lights. You can see that our headlights are on. Give me the high beams. Good. Four ways. Good. Driver. Good. Passenger. Good. Let's go ahead and turn on our beacons. Beacon lights, we can see we have one at the top. We've got two in the back. Leave those on for me, please, while we check our back brake lights. You can see our beacon lights on top flashing. Brake lights, good. Four ways, good. Right blinker or driver blinker, good. Passenger blinker, good. The reverse lights, please. On this truck, you can see the reverse lights and also hear the backup alarm. Inside, we make sure our horn works. Horn does work. Come along the inside and see if we can get them to fire up. Very good. Let's check out our gauges. You can see our fuel gauge on the left. We want to make sure that our truck is filled with fuel before we start the day. Tachometer, speedometer. We've got our temperature gauge over here. If you're checking the transmission fluid, you're going to check it while the vehicle is hot and warm. No other lights on our dash. We've got a clean dash here. We go ahead and check out our CB radio. Make sure we got a CB radio to talk to the other trucks. We need to be on channel 2 for our CBs. Our beacon lights, you can see, are on the top here. Up is on, down is off for the beacons. It's labeled. We're going to check out our vents. Make sure the air is coming out of the defrost as well as the front vents. Very good. Parking brake on this truck is going to be on the inside. Pull up on the lever to engage, push in on the button and pull down for release. Okay. We're going to check out our two things in here behind the seat. Number one is the fire extinguisher. Number two is our triangles. So make sure you have both of those inside the truck. Okay, let's take a walk visually outside in the truck and see what we can see. You want to note any damage that you see on the truck. Check underneath to make sure there's no oil puddling underneath where the engine is. Make sure there's nothing loose or hanging underneath the truck. Or in the back, we can take a look at our leaf springs. Make sure they're intact. But again, just make sure nothing's loose or hanging. We can check our fuel cap while we're here. We can see that it takes diesel fuel. Make sure that the cap tightens all the way. Very good. We also see our mud flaps. Let's check out our tires while we're here. We can check the tires by giving a little pressure test, make sure it holds air. We can check the lug nuts to make sure that the lug nuts are not loose. We can check and make sure that our tread depth is good. Old Honest Abe is a pretty good guide. We don't see his hair, we're in good shape. Looks like we got good tread on these tires. Another thing to check out when we're looking at our tires is inside. You can check out the rotors. Check and make sure there's no excessive damage or wear. Try to check on our brake pads, see what kind of life is left on our brake pads as well. All important things to check throughout the day. Nothing loose, nothing hanging. Looks like we're in good shape here. Okay, so let's go over to our sheet. We've done all of our under the hood, we've done our in cab, we've done around our vehicle. Driver's license must be on you at all times. You must have a proper license to drive this vehicle. Medical card for anything over 10,001 pounds gross vehicle weight. Proper PPE. If we look inside our truck, you can see that we have a bag of garbage, but also our hard hat, our safety gloves, our safety glasses, and our vest. Toolbox is required for spray trucks only. 10 hours off duty applies to all drivers. Brakes adjusted or self-adjusting. Cell phone use is prohibited. Seat belt use is required. We must stop at all DOT checkpoints. Gross vehicle weight. Inside the door jamb of the truck, you'll find the gross vehicle weight, 14,500 pounds. You can also see the height is on the side of the truck, 11 foot 6 inch clearance vertically. So at the beginning of the day, we'll note any deficiencies we found during our pre-trip, whether our vehicle was satisfactory, as well as our trailer, and our signature in blue or black ink. At the end of the day, we'll put the end time, our total time, And our endodometer, noting again any new vehicle deficiencies from either the morning or your drive throughout the day, your satisfactory vehicle and trailer, printing and signing your name in blue or black ink.